Wasn't
all the
recording that bit.
things.
I am now officially starting the recording, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us, the one non-player here, PJ. It's a pleasure to see you. And welcome
Hello,
to
PJ.
all the players today. And I really only say this once at the beginning of all the recordings, or at the beginning of any campaign. We're going to be joined today by Osh, who's going to be playing Shen, Alistair, who's going to be playing Edward, Max, who will be playing Cairo, and Moon, who will be playing Rory. As I start some things up in the background and do some things, we're going to go down the list with starting with Osh, just because he's live right now. Tell us a little bit about your character as I start doing things in the background here.
Shen is the second oldest of the family. He is also by and large the tallest and biggest. For no reason other than he has been doing physical labor since he was probably around 10 years old. Uh, and through doing that has built up a lot of practical muscle that, because he doesn't eat a lot, is also just he's very cut. Uh, he tends to be much more quiet and kind of passive to himself, but works incredibly hard to support the family to the best of his ability, which is pretty good, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Do you want more?
Nice.
No, that's all. We can go on to
Cool.
whoever's next on the list. That'd be you, Alistair.
All right, I am playing Edward. He's just a thief. He steals things for a living. He's never home. When he is, he's just dropping off money and he's in going away again. He steals about almost anything, small trinkets, organs, really whatever his bosses says he has to steal. And yeah, that's about it from him.
I'll go next then. Cairo is well, he's built. He hasn't been
Yeah.
around for long whilst you guys have been here. He went missing when he was 6. You guys didn't know why. He just returned one night, about 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6 years later. He was older. He's different. He was changed. And whilst you guys have rebonded, he refuses to talk about what happened to him, and, well, he's incredibly soft-spoken, as he was very outgoing before his disappearance. The main thing is that he now wears a mask that covers the lower portion of his face quite well. When he speaks, he pulls the mask out slightly so you can hear his voice properly, but that's all. He doesn't let you see his full face. And while he still very obviously cares about his family, there is an underlying fear of something that drives every single one of his actions.
Brilliant.
That's about it.
Alrighty
Oh
then,
yeah,
I guess.
hang on, one
Oh,
one little tidbit I just forgot. Although you guys have inferred the reason for his unique manner of speaking as being probably brain damage, he doesn't speak normally. You see, Cairo has to speak like this. Cairo has to refer to himself in the third person because he can't make the good words come out the way
huh.
he wants. And
Understandable.
that's it.
Well, hello. I am playing as Rory. Yeah, a half human, half kobold, and the fourth youngest among the siblings. And unlike his siblings, he has been mostly in the household, helping along with chores and assisting their mother in caring for the younger ones and doing some small stuff there here and there, like cooking, cleaning, sewing, and all that stuff. But due to the fact that he is more magically inclined, he has been living in the house most of his days. Like he doesn't leave or just stays in the house, so he would avoid attracting unwanted attention for his magical prowess. So whenever he goes out, he uses secret tunnels. So as an urchin for the city secrets, he uses the secret tunnels uh, to go about in their area. But most of the time, he just stays at home, caring for his mother and such. And for appearance reasons, he looks like a. He's about like near 5 feet, like about 4'10", and he has red scales. Just so you know. And that's pretty much about it. Just a little curious kobold with good magic prowess.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And what I was doing was adding Cairo's image here so that we could have that loveliness.
Yeah, I couldn't get the mask to work properly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It all works out. It's really just for visuals and for the sake of the people watching.
Yeah,
So
that's his basic appearance. His eyes glow almost constantly as well. It's a very soft glow, but it's noticeable. Even in bright light, you can notice his eyes are just softly glowing.
okay,
Very
and
nice.
this should start the proper music. That should be royalty free.
Nice.
There we go. And we start our adventures on the continent of Akan, set 900 years into the era of blood, as we begin our adventure into the capital of a magisterium, the city of Yokma. We follow the story of a single family and their siblings who try to survive in the slums of this horrific city, one that treats the average person, much like anywhere else in the world during this era, as less than slabs of meat. It's not a very complicated intro, it's not a very complicated story. The point is to survive and try to thrive. As we were just introduced to all of our players, we are actually going to change scenes almost immediately from our starting picture of the entire world to the family gathering of their home. As the days begins to wake up, the sounds of the city start to stir, and the calls of the night guard to change their shifts ring through the city, waking most of it up. And here we find ourselves in the family home, and I'm going to very quickly adjust. I can't adjust the volume in full screen. That's super annoying. One second. I find the volume's just a little loud right now for the background music. There we go. That's a bit better. And we find ourselves in our family home, waking up around a dimly lit campfire. It's your move players.
Guys,
Hmm.
all awake.
Uh,
Time to get
yes.
up.
Mm. Is anyone else awake up here?
I'm me. Cairo is awake. Cairo is well. Cairo doesn't sleep much, but Cairo is awake. Hello, Cairo has been tending fire.
Did you?
Cairo.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you slept well, big brother. What about the others?
Shen has very quietly gotten up and gone to check on Mother before he heads out for work.
Shen's
Mm.
gone to
One
view
second.
to make sure Mom's okay. So
Yeah.
Let me
Edward,
assign
just-
control
Kairos-
to Osh there. Save settings. You can move your character.
Just
now,
want to say,
Osh.
Edward's
Cairo has gotten up from his bed and has moved over to the small campfire and has basically dragged a couple pieces of wood with him from the floor and has
Yes,
tossed them in and
Wood would be. Can you
Gently-
ping in this version? So, do you see the cabinet next to the NPC sibling right over here?
Yeah.
That would be where the wood would be. There we go. The pings are really small because I actually made the map super fucking big.
Well, he's basically, as he's been talking to Rory, he's gotten up, gone over to the wood cabinet, grabbed some wood, and then wandered over to the fire and has placed it very, very neatly in the fire, and has now just gently tapped one of the pieces of wood and set it alight without any need for incantation somehow.
Okay, as you place the log onto the fire, there's a crackle and spark from the embers that are still glowing from the pit, and as you light the wood, the natural light barely coming into the house already, because it's like a row home. The top and bottom of the home here, at least from our 2D perspective, would be walls connected with other buildings, where the front would actually have two windows that are barely letting in the morning's light. And as this light erupts into the room, it finally lights the faces of your sleeping younger siblings, who still seem soundly at rest. In the other room near the back of the house, where the storage is, as well as not only your mom's sleeping place, but also her working place. There's a bench in the back corner that has different assorted pieces of clothing in some form of either repair or just initial design. As you should all know, she is a seamstress. As Shen walks into the room, you find your mother has already lit the brazier, which also for her acts as a bit of a fireplace for the warmth of the cold desert nights. She's already sitting up and is already working on a piece of clothing, fixing it. It seems like she had almost fallen asleep with it laying on top of her as she works. She looks up and goes, "Oh, sweetie, you're up pretty early this morning. Are you out to go find some more work today?"
Shen just nods, but just smiles. Says, "You should get more rest. I can bring in enough money for us to be okay. You don't need to work as much anymore."
I appreciate the thought, but there are a lot of mouths to feed here, and the work you do is dangerous. I don't want you to feel pressured to take on more risky work or assignments that could, end up getting you killed. Just do what you need to, to be safe. The rest of us all work together. We're one big family here.
As Jen is conversing with Mother, Cairo walked into the room, looks over to the brazier and sees that it's lit, looks at Mother, looks at Shen, nods and goes, "Cairo's gonna like that. But it's good you're awake, Mom.
It's good to see you too, sweetie."
Cairo's gonna go read some books.
Okay.
And he wanders over to where he's hidden his books underneath a table somewhere.
Yeah, so there'd be a little table
out,
at the back here, which is probably where you'd keep your books if you're trying to hide them. Otherwise, I was going to say you could just keep them in the shelving of the storage area.
Yeah, no, he hides them under stuff a lot, because that's what he used to do when he was captured. He'd hide certain objects under his bed or under
Technically, according to the Magisterium, you were attending school. You weren't captured.
Yeah. According to the Magisterium, I was attending school, but I was actually being experimented on.
Well, for part of it, yes.
Yeah, he just he reaches under, grabs his small poetry book, which is actually massive. It's a big compendium that he stole, and just hops onto.
Yeah, it's just like a foot thick, and it's like
table.
one of those classic things where like you have to put like one side down and you flip the pages over.
Yeah, he just jumps onto the table with the athleticism that should not come with a what seems to be.
That table's very small. It will
18-year-old.
break if you jump on it.
Okay, he doesn't jump on the table. He just sits down next to it, places the book in front of him, and just 6.
Yeah, it's like
and
it's
begins
like a
reading.
low table. A lot of furniture in this world is going to be very low, like Japanese style, where it's just high enough to slide your legs under comfortably, and it would be like right there at like just like belly button height.
Okay. But yeah, okay.
Okay.
He just sits down next to it, places the book on it, plops it open, and just starts reading.
You hear a thick throughout that home. You hear a resounding thump as he places the book down.
Oh God.
Sorry. He just calls over his
Anyway.
shoulder. Sorry.
As these two are with Mother right now, Rory would just stand up and thought of something and decided to prepare for everyone's breakfast due to the fact that, yep, he helps the cooking, he does the homework chores, he goes and try to find anything that he could cook, like anything at all that he could cook that is remotely would help, especially the youngins, to get enough nutrients for throughout the day.
Oh,
I do. Hmm?
I am having an issue here. I can't move anything right now.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Technical difficulties.
I'm refreshing the page right now. I'm trying to move you back into the storage area. No, still something goes wrong. We might have to switch
By
to...
giving me access and see if I can move them.
I can't interact with it at all. It's really weird. Can I click other things? Okay, I can. Okay, dismiss. Okay, I can... controlled by all players. Yeah, just move him back into the back area if you can. I've given you control over him.
Over here.
Thank you. That's really embarrassing. Okay, I can move stuff now. No, I just can't move. I can't. I cannot move. Rory.
Huh? For some reason,
I can move everything else.
Rory.
Rory, what did you
has
do?
the power of the will.
You've defeated the power of the DM. How is this possible?
Mine just said it's having trouble too as well. So it's just.
If this persists on just this page, then we can just use our imaginations. But so yeah, Rory, you get back there and you find that there's a trough of water there. It's freshly drawn water from the well from the night before. It's easily emptyable. There's actually a drain underneath the trough for when you put fresh water in it. It will head to the sewers. And the shelves they're not necessarily barren, but there isn't too many cooking materials here today. There's some leftover bread, which might have started molding or not. There's a couple slices of meat, and other than that, there's a bunch of grains, which, you would use to make bread, flour, or porridge.
Well, knowing do I have to roll something for him to make the porridge?
No. Not
well,
in this instance. It's a simple meal that even I, being the real person, the DM Zaru, I can make porridge without making a skill check and fucking it up. So I'm going to assume that somebody who's a bit more trained than me in a fantasy world can make porridge.
As Rory sort of looks around the kitchen-esque area, Cairo's gonna look over, spot that the shelves are looking a bit bare, bring up from his seated position, run back to his bed, and grab something out of the bundle that he'd made of his blanket that he owns, and he just brings in a fresh loaf. He just brings the fresh loaf and just hands it to Rory.
Okay.
He doesn't say a word, just hands it.
I can't move
Thank you.
Cairo either for some reason, so I guess just go with it.
God, what is this?
Thank you. So yeah, he runs over and then he runs over. Awesome.
He just sort of,
I can move all the NPC things. I cannot move
The players?
the players for some reason. This is.
I am the god of the players.
I can move Shen just fine though.
Never mind.
The one person who can move the other players, I can move his character. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't really matter.
Ano, functional program. But anyways, so Rory looks up at how tall is Cairo again?
He is. Hang on, let me check. Let me get his features and traits. Nope, that's the wrong thing.
In background.
Final
Yeah, you can
background,
also
thank
very
you.
quickly check
He is-
background. It should be there.
He's 5'6".
Ah, so he's ever so slightly taller than Rory. So Rory would just slightly look up towards him and takes the bread and just like smiles at him. Thanks, big brother. All right, I think I haven't. I think there's enough to make porridge and a few. Make
Uh,
porridge and
I
with
did forget to say
the
there
bread
is mead on the shelves, very low alcohol content mead, and it is one of the best sources for hydration because water is, you know, maybe a little suspect in the slums. Just so you are aware.
All right.
As Ro- what I want to say is, as Rory is now cooking porridge, probably for the first time in like a week, maybe a week and a half, Edward would come home. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
if you
okay.
didn't want to be here to start, I can remove your character, by the way, there, Alistair.
no, sorry, my dad just walked in. No, I like like almost in like a week or so, for the first time he comes home and wants to deliver money.
Okay. Well then, as DM, I'm going to ask, what assorted jobs have you been doing? And that will determine how much money you can bring home.
Yeah, now my thing is not working, and I can only move Shen.
Okay.
Oh boy.
If this issue
Alright.
persists, especially on other pages, because this page it doesn't matter too much where people are positioned. If this issue persists on other pages, we will be going to the full web version.
Mm.
Or I
I'm already
will
on
just
the web version.
restart the activity itself. So, but technical things aside, let's get that answer from Alistair.
Sorry.
Jobs. Helps collects his payments once a week, maybe sometimes even once a month. He comes home, delivers money, and then just scurries off again.
Okay, so you've been like, so you've been like going out and doing like enforcement jobs where they're like, hey, the shop owner isn't paying money, collect this much and you get to keep 10%. That kind of thing.
Yes, that's basically.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically what he's done. But if Rory ever sees him walks in this time, he does walk in and he looks a bit disheveled. He seems to have bruises and he doesn't look the best.
So you've been working as an enforcer for the Kazakhs. So roll me a D100.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it in the rolling channel.
Yep.
That's why it's there.
And I am
On the web version, it says that there's the problem. The problem is still there.
Sorry, what's the problem?
I cannot move anything.
How?
He got a 1.
You got a what?
I got
I
a
cannot
1.
You got a.
We got a 1.
Don't worry, you're
I
not
got a
the
1.
you're not the only one rolling. I was going to add these two numbers together, and I got a 3.
Didn't do
Did
good.
I get a 1?
Okay, so let me know if this is out of line for your character, and I will change it. But
Yeah.
after a week of being gone, you've collected plenty of money that would have helped your family. But you thought you could earn a little bit more money in some of the fighting pits and arenas that have popped up along the slums. You've bet on yourself. You've lost these fights, thus the bruises and cuts. And you come home with 5 bronze.
Yeah, he would do that.
Okay.
He's a very cocky person.
Yeah, if that is within your character, that's what happened. You came home and you had a total of 5 bronze on you.
He would walk. I'm guessing it's like 4 a.m. at this point, right? If we were bringing real wood.
Well,
our
given
clock system,
given the latitude and longitude and the season that you guys are in, it'd be closer to 6 a.m.
Oh wow. Okay, so he would walk to his mother and just put the money down. Very ashamed that he is brought home so little.
Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, no, you walk in, you bring what's normally like if full could hold like maybe 100 bronze coins per coin purse, and it looks like it had starved to death at some point like a week ago, and you place it in front of your mother. She looks at it, looks up at you, sees your scratches and bruises, look down at the money, and without looking back at you goes, "Were you fighting in the pits again?"
He just doesn't know.
I see.
Of a building.
Then maybe you and I could go over to Dietrich's Tavern and you could get maybe a bussing job or dishwasher job.
Did you just say fuck under his breath?
Because that's enough money for breakfast. So we'll talk about this later. But maybe we'll find you some more gainful employment.
As what's his name? Edward?
Yes, Edward.
As Edward was walking in, Shen had just planted a kiss on Mum's forehead and then headed off to the kitchen.
She gives you a pretty dainty wave goodbye.
He kind of looks at Edward as he's passing, acknowledges the fucked up state he is in, but keeps going. Heads into the kitchen, takes the moldy bread, seeing that there is a fresh loaf, and just starts like chewing on the good bits.
Okay.
And fills up his water skin with, you said mead was a better choice, so he's filling it up with mead.
Yeah. The water here is mostly for like cooking implements or bathing, which is what the water trough is used for. That said, once you have boiled the water, it would be safe to drink.
Yeah. So he fills up his water skin with, like, half fills it with mead. Quickly, like, splashes water on him to just kind of refresh from the sleeping, and standing at 6'3", kind of towers over the two siblings that are there, pats them both on the head, and then heads towards the exit.
Okay.
Cairo's gonna follow as you head towards the exit, and he just sort of leans past you, taps you on the hip, looks up at you and goes, "Need help?" Just sort of like throws his hands up in a half gesture and just says, "Need help?" Because he's in a bit of a restless mood, which everybody can sort of see. He's shifting on his feet for some reason, which is normal even for him.
Shen will.
I need a 5-second pause. Just give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
Sorry, my cat got its claw stuck in the carpet, so I need to go help her.
Aww, Sprunkly.
Cat. Is the cat already?
Yeah, the cat's totally fine. She was just clawing the carpet and couldn't get one of her claws out, and I kept hearing a thunk, 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 thunk as she was pulling the carpet up.
But that has happened to me with our cats when we still had cats so many times.
Oh. I thought you were going to say, well, that's happened to me. I'm an idiot. I get stuck in the carpet all the time.
If I had claws, I would have.
Anyway, sorry, I just needed like 5 seconds to go help her. So you're going to help Shen today there, Cairo?
Yeah, well, as long as Shen needs an extra pair of hands, Cairo's
Shen
just gonna
smiles and would say, here's a question for you, GM.
No.
Do I have a job lined up for today?
That is a good question. I would say if you as the player had planned on working today, yes. If not, I can roll to see whether or not you would know the likelihood of, or like you would know the likelihood, but like roll to see if you know if there's a job or not.
I think Shen most days has a job lined up, and like if he finishes a job, he's got the next one lined up for the next day.
Yeah, no problem.
So he just finished a job and is like ready to go on the next one.
Yeah, no, then
So,
absolutely. You have a job line up. I will, however, roll to see what kind of job it is. Okay. I'm not telling you yet, but you have it. You know you have a job waiting for you. And you would know that it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult than normal.
Okay. Do I know who it's with? Which group it's with?
Yeah, no, that would be something you'd know ahead of time. I'd say choose the 3 groups you told me about earlier. Just select one, and it can be with them. It doesn't really matter who you get it from.
Let's have a look at those 3 groups. Because I forgot them already.
You can also choose one of the minor factions as well.
I didn't even look at the minor factions. I'll go with the big group.
Big groups do pay
Let's
more.
just go with the. Yeah, I think we'll go with the mercenary group, the green.
Okay,
section.
so that's a local job then. You don't have to go very far to find it.
I think Shen generally doesn't like bringing his family into his business, just for the sake of if shit goes down, they're less likely to be hurt. So he will, despite the fact that the job might be a bit more difficult, he will smile, pat Kyra on the shoulder, and say, "Wake up the others. Tell them breakfast will be soon. Look after them." And then kind of very quickly and deftly runs up and over this wall up onto a
That
nearby,
is a solid wall into another building. You're in a row.
So he climbs up it.
You're going through the roof. You have like an escape hatch in the roof. Just
So he essentially he never goes on the streets because it's quicker to just go over the buildings. So he gets up onto the roofs and starts running towards where his job is.
Okay, fair enough. Just wanted to
That's my version of City Secrets. Is he runs across the city rather than
totally fine.
Through it.
Pyro
he might go over here first.
Pyro just gives a nod, a wave, and then sort of claps his hand once. The sound is louder than a normal clap should be, but not loud enough that the neighbors will hear, and it will wake the other sleeping children up.
Okay,
and he just goes,
I
breakfast
believe that
ready.
will actually trigger something. Let me check.
Oh no! Okay.
I am sorry
no.
about this, but it is
Don't
a technicality.
Use magic.
It is a technicality.
Oh, I'm rolling.
Yeah, the person I'm talking to, I think, Alistair, you need to roll. The threshold on this, however, will be much lower than normal because you may not even notice it. You just got to beat a 5.
So 9.
You got to beat a 5.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, then nothing happens.
Okay. If it would be okay, after his mother has essentially scolded him, he would go to a seating. He would go to a seating area because he is very tired, he is very sore, and he would begin playing his lute that he has most likely stolen from somebody.
I would say the
Okay.
best seating area is going to be near the fire or on your bed, as much as your bed comes. It's, you know, literally.
He
So I know they look like straw, like piles. They are a little bit more complicated than that. Think of a Japanese style tatami mat, or one of their sleeping futons. That's more like what you guys have, but they're very cheap, use very cheap materials, are not comfortable in any way.
he would sit where most people could hear him, like where the sound would travel most through the house, I guess, if we can say it like that.
I would say then
And just play it.
you would sit on the steps there, facing the fire.
Yeah, he would just play a little jaunty tune, a morning tune, something he doesn't often do, but he still does.
Just for DM description here, and clarification. So there
I'm
are
not-
two. You guys can see that there's clearly two halves of this house, right? So
Yeah.
only the back half is like a real house that has a foundation and a floor. And there's a reason why steps go down. It's almost like somebody extended what was the original very tiny home into a bigger home, but didn't floor or properly foundation anything, and just built walls into the ground that acts as the front of your home and where you sleep. It's also part of the reason why they did this is it's safer to have a fire pit there. So just
Should I roll a performance or something to see how I do?
I'll ask you, were you drinking the night before?
No, he doesn't drink. He prefers not to.
Okay. Other than, you know, the mead that acts as water, which again won't, for mechanical purposes,
Yeah.
will never get you drunk. Like you would die of like
Yeah.
hyperhydration before you got drunk off this mead. Just for clarification.
Yes,
So then, no, I would say you don't have to roll a performance check, not for your own home.
Okay.
You know.
As Edward begins to play his lute, Cairo's going to busy himself cleaning up the fire pit floor, basically, brushing ashes into the fire pit, straightening out the futons that aren't being laid in.
Okay, I can
stuff
move
like
these
that.
ones around,
He's-
so I'm going to replace the characters that existed. You keep going, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah, he's just sort of busying himself because he is very restless at the moment. Unbeknownst to the rest of the family, but for context for viewers and for everybody else here, it's the anniversary of the first day he woke up after his experimentation, and on this day, the memories replay in his head of the pain, and he can currently feel the apparatus in his back absorbing magic from the air, and he does not like it, and he desperately wants to distract himself. Hence why he asked to go with Shen, but because Shen said, stay home, take care of the family, he's currently just busying himself trying to think of something to do.
I want to ask, would Edward notice him being very unrestless, and would he know why he is unrestless? Would he remember?
Yes. Because Edward and Cairo are very, very close, because they're practically twins. Edward knows to some extent that this day was a day that was not fun for Cairo. He doesn't know that it was because of the experimentation, but he just knows it was not good. So he's just watching his brother pretty much dash about, cleaning things,
As
organizing things.
DM, I also have to ask, would this be knowledge you would have told your mother? Not necessarily the full
No.
story, but that this day is a particularly bad day for you. Like, you know, every year.
Yeah, she knows it's a bad day for me today.
Okay.
But she does not know why. She doesn't
Okay.
know anything, whereas Edward has some inkling of it to do with his schoolwork, which Edward knows is
Um,
actually just the harsh and inhumane shit that he went through.
After a little while of Edward just playing his tune, he would look at Cairo and says, you want to train?
Cairo just shakes his head because he knows for a fact that if he was going train today, he would already be outside and probably heading for one of the rings, because unbeknownst to the majority of his family, he tends to go to the rings and just fight people who are outside of the rings and really just want to punch somebody. But he never really stays for long. It's just like an hour outing where he goes, he beats somebody up that they need a bit of stress relief, and then comes home. But he just shakes his head.
Sorry, I thought you were done. My apologies. Just to move things along a little bit as DM, I am going to move Rory over here as you're preparing the porridge, which is what I'm assuming you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to make sure. And as the smells of cooking and the clap woke up your siblings, they start to wake up bleary-eyed, and one of them goes, "Is it morning already? Oh, Rory's cooking again. I always like his cooking." And the one who said that comes over here and sits and watches you prepare the food. The other two, one of them goes to the cabinet over here and starts doing something. And this one goes outside and starts like cleaning up the front of the house, removing the sand that may have piled up anywhere over the night. And as that happens, your mother comes up behind you, Edward, and without trying to disturb you, she kind of gives you a small pat on the shoulder and says, "You always play so lovely. It's always nice when you're home and I can hear it." And then moves past you and comes over here to stand next to you, Cairo. And she looks at you with a very serious face. And she goes, "I know what day it is, and I know that you don't really like this day, and you're always looking for something to do. And if you're interested, I talked to Diedrich, and he said that for the day you could come over and work at the tavern. He'd have an assortment of jobs for you to do. That way you're not just stuck in here today."
Cairo's gonna look up, nod eagerly, and immediately dash outside to...
Running over your sibling.
Nah, he masterfully leaps over his sibling. Like it is... Well, he masterfully dashes past his sibling.
Yes.
Like he gives him a small pat on the head as he runs past. Turns around, waits at his mum, gives her a thumbs up, and then heads for the tavern.
Give me 1 second. Come in.
What am I rolling?
Yeah. 1, 2.
No, I think he went out for a second. Rory would just be disappointed. Yes, this motherfucker skipped breakfast again.
No,
Well-
yes, no, I am back.
Welcome back.
So,
Well, Cairo, you're not exactly disappointed that he's skipping breakfast, because you notice that Cairo does not eat a lot. He eats like once every 2 or 3 days, and he's already eaten something yesterday. He had, I think, one of the slices of meat, because there was 3 last night. There's now 2 because he's eaten one of the slices of meat. He told us
I don't
more
think-
about that. Yeah, he
I
doesn't
don't
eat
think-
regularly.
I want to say, I don't think Edward has ever eaten at this house for like 8 years. He mostly just, he's almost never here. It's very rare that he's actually sitting there and playing his lute.
okay.
Anyway,
So Cairo,
And Cairo
is
just rarely eats.
out.
Yeah, Cairo he's basically before
he's out of here.
before breakfast is even finished, he's given his mum a wave, a thumbs up, and has basically just vanished to the tavern.
By the way, there is a door here. I didn't put one in when I was making it. That's an oopsie on my part. There is an actual door here that like locks and everything. So
Yeah.
just for imagination and viewership purposes, I want to clarify there's a door there. Okay, so what we are going to do, because Shen hasn't been able to talk in a while, is just pop over here.
That's me.
And get rid of these big old images. Shrink those down. So any, oh my God, it's doing it again. Can I? Oh, fuck. I don't know what it is with the images that I put in here, but they don't want to work today. But Shen, you're fine. Clearly you
Yes,
like the
go
DM. So.
I am not difficult.
Yes, if we zoom in here, hopefully the image gets a little clearer. I did think I uploaded the 8K version, but whatever. So, Shen, you are now outside of the house. You are running along the rooftops. I'm going to shrink you even a little further. Apologies, I thought I uploaded the 8K version of the image, but I guess I didn't. File must have been too large. You're going to make your way over to kind of near the gate area where you know the...
Before I do...
Oh, yeah, what's up? Do what you...
I go from home.
Oh, we just lost Alistair.
Okay.
Let's give him just a second to reconnect before we continue. Oh, and any kind of size thing doesn't matter. Welcome back, Alistair. Everything okay?
I'll take that as a yes.
The silence.
Yeah, the silence definitely. Oh God, is he having mic issues again? Because if so, I'm gonna have to. Oh, there you are. Hi.
No, my Wi-Fi disconnected.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure everything.
What happened?
Oh, we paused as soon as you disconnected. We're just talking about what Shen's doing once he gets out of the house.
So Shen heads a couple of blocks away to like a taller building compared to all the other buildings, where he has all of his on the roof. He has like a hidden cache which has all of his like gear for doing work.
Okay. And you collect it?
He avoids keeping his work stuff home, just for various reasons.
As DM, I am going to force you to keep at least one of your throwing knives, which of course can be used as a handheld knife, on you at all times.
Yes.
Just so that you're not unarmed by your own mistake here.
And I'm not 100% clear on where we landed with the genie vessel kind of replacement kind of thing, where you can just hide stuff in.
I approve that. Yes, that works, but it's
Okay,
very limited in space.
Yeah,
and it's going to be part of your gravitational spatial trait.
Yeah. He keeps his weapons in there, but his like equipment for doing work. So like climbing gear, whatever other things he needs, like satchels and bags and stuff.
That's
he keeps separate.
That's perfect. Then that works.
Separate, kind of hidden. So he goes, gets them, and then heads off to his meeting.
Okay. So just to describe
doing it in half the time it would take for normal people.
Yes, indeed. But just to describe this, the situation here and why the slums look really weird on the map is because there are literally buildings built on top of buildings. So it's a very strange architecture running along the roof, because sometimes you have to scamper up a wall and then immediately down a wall to run along the roof line. As buildings have been built above each other, on the side of each other's, some are very precariously just hanging off into nothingness, and just hanging over a street or alley.
This reminds me of Warhammer.
I was going for that. Warhammer is a huge influence for this era, just so you know.
Oh, I'm scared then. No. Oh, no.
Oh, it's a huge influence for this era.
If I begin seeing orcs with red vehicles, I'm running.
No, in my world, they paint them green. That gives them extra strength and speed. No. Yes, I do get the Warhammer reference there.
I've been watching a lot of Warhammer. I've actually been loving it.
So, despite your added speed, this would still probably take you anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes to get over to the headquarters of oh god, I could see the Jaimin Hunters Guild or a group. So, and we are going to move. Excuse me, I am burping at the moment. We're going to move Cairo over to Diedrich's Tavern. There we go. Diedrich's Tavern is the red arrow. Is there anything you want to do on your way over there, Cairo?
No, he just very skillfully sort of uses the weird architecture to sort of, I want to say, monkey swing through the city, avoiding any patrolling outer guardsmen or people that he thinks are magisters but might not be, because
this is really early in the morning. There isn't much happening in the city. There's a couple of people out and about, but those people are probably up to no good at the moment until the sun fully rises. The honest people of this city, as few as there may be, are the ones who come out when the sun is fully up. So it would actually be pretty empty streets.
Avoiding them. He's still avoiding them by doing basically just parkour, which he looks like he shouldn't be able to do, but he is.
He just grows a tail out of nowhere.
He looks haggard, but he's doing like weirdly masterful parkour over buildings, through gaps in weird architecture. At one point, he slides under somebody's legs and they don't even notice.
Okay, we are going to jump back home here. So we have 2 people left at home. Will you guys be leaving at some point during the day?
Actually, Rory and Rory. Wait, let me ask. How much money does the family have, all in all?
I would say your combined worth right now is about 2 silver, so 200 copper or bronze pieces, which isn't a lot, but for this era in the slums is reasonable enough to get by quite healthily.
Okay, so what I'm planning is that, Rory, after getting everyone fed and helping along the last set of chores, Rory would probably try to go and try and get some more food, like, since it's just, he sliced the loaf of bread a bit to add to more stuff to the porridge, like the bowl of porridge, and then on the side is just the bread. So basically, that the breakfast of everyone who accepted the breakfast of that Rory cooked. Well, and then
that would be all your younger siblings, your mom, and probably Edward.
Most likely.
So after that, the bread would probably be less, or like slowly running out. So he would probably think that it's best to get some more food in the marketplace or any area where he could get quote unquote cheap food, but slightly more edible.
Okay, totally good.
I would say Edward would follow Rory to just make sure nobody does anything to him, mostly, and just helps him carry stuff.
And now I can't move the players again. What the fuck? Anyway,
I think you have to reset the tokens itself.
Yeah, it looks like I might be.
Drop the token. Bring it back.
Change layer. 1 second. Bring to front. Nope, it doesn't matter. Like I said, we're basically done on this screen. But as you guys leave, the younger sibling who's outside comes in to eat, and they all gather around the fireplace. You guys, the remaining 6 of you eat together, and then you and Edward leave to the marketplace. We are going to jump back over here. Welcome back to the city. For Can I move these guys still? Okay, we're good. I can move these guys. So we are going to put, where are they? Rory. So the only place to really buy food is the marketplace in this level of the city. It's the only place that one can go and buy food. And that's by design. It's to force you to get food from the government, in a way.
I'm back. Sorry, Discord
course.
decided to crash
Capitalism.
on.
I'm sorry, what?
Discord decided to crash on me.
Oh, are you back then? I can assume since you're talking again.
Yes.
Okay. The only place to buy food in this city is in the merchant district, which is the area that looks way nicer than the slums, and that's by design. And it kind of forces the plebeians and the other, the slum dwellers to literally get their food in away from the government. Because if they wanted to kill you all they'd have to do is close the gates, and there'd be no food. It kind of forces loyalty in a way. So you guys have to come
Communists.
into the city to get food. I know it's a horrible setup. It's by design. It's that, or you hunt for rats and other critters to eat. So we are going to. My question is, Shen and Cairo, which one of you do we want to go to first?
I reckon you go with Cairo first.
Okay.
Okay, right. I've arrived at Diedrich's place, and it turns out the odd job he had for me was, well, not really anything to do with the tavern itself. He wants a delivery done to a friend so that he can get some funds squirreled away for whatever purpose. He doesn't let Cairo know, but he does sort of instruct him. It is very, very, very important. And Cairo sort of cleans up a few tables before approaching Diedrich and just tilting his head.
Okay.
As
I
if
forgot.
to
I
ask,
didn't have
okay,
time to make a
what's
token
the
for
job?
Dietrich, so I apologize.
It's fine. He's just. I assume he's just sort of at the bar. So-
Yeah, he's going to be at the bar. I'm just going to find something real quick to be Dietrich. There we go. Tiny little bar dude. Now a bigger bar dude. The sizes are
Yeah,
not
he's just-
necessarily appropriate. They're just for visual
Yeah.
sense.
Pyro's cleaned off some of the tables and is now just waiting for Diedrich to give him whatever Diedrich needs him to
Okay.
send.
I
And
like the
so
fact that
he
you just
hands him.
gave me the job that you're going to get, but awesome. By the way, I
Great
have
minds think alike.
no problem with it. It's whatever. It works for me.
Great
I
minds
just
think alike, bro.
I
Great
need you
minds
all
think
out of the
alike.
house is what I needed.
Pyro then takes this package, gives Diedrich a tilt of the head as Diedrich hands him a small pouch of money preemptively, because he knows Cairo's going to do a good job, because Cairo's done a few delivery jobs and odd jobs around the tavern for him already, so he trusts him.
Although, as
And
DM,
Cairo
let
just-
me set the scene a little bit. So you
Yeah.
walk into the tavern. There's already a couple of people eating breakfast here. You recognize a couple of the faces. Some of them are direct employees of the tavern. Others are people that you see hanging around the tavern all the time. You've come to, over the years that you've been here after being away, have come to associate them as criminal associates of Dietrich, who is the leader of kind of the community around here. He's been an important part of your life, Dietrich has, ever since you've returned. He, despite your appearance, has never seemed to hesitate to interact with you. He is the closest thing you could imagine to what a father should be. He is pretty
Yeah.
short. He is actually an inch shorter than you. If I remember, you are 5'6". Dietrich
Yes.
is 5'5". He's an inch shorter than you, so you're basically the same height. He has a hugely burly build. For reference to the recording, let me go show that under important NPCs. If you guys all also want to check to remind yourselves exactly what Dietrich looks like. He has tattoo sleeves down both of his arms. Although in this instance it looks like he's wearing metal plate or something, he's actually wearing leather armor that usually has an apron over it, since he is both the cook and bartender of his own tavern. There are other cooks though, but he does help cook out. He has a partially shaved head with just enough hair on the top to create a long braid that reaches the small of his back behind him, and he has a very luxurious and lush beard in the front, which is well maintained. He absolutely looks like he could just completely crush you through the floor, by the way, if you were to assess your skill differences. And he nods to you and goes, "It seems your mother sent you here today. How are you doing today, Cairo?"
Cairo is, well, good.
He slaps
well,
the bar in front of him and goes, "Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad you're feeling well today."
Is all the response he gets, because Cairo just nods and makes the sound like,
He slides a coin purse across the bar at you and then reaches underneath the bar and picks up a small package. It is wrapped in brown leather, and honestly, you could hold it with one hand, but it would also be big enough to be held with two hands. And he places that right next to the coin purse and says, "I need you to deliver this across town all the way into the Psychers territory. You should be safe there. It's right on the edge. There's nothing to worry about. And I highly suggest you use the merchant or the merchant tier to get over there. It's going to be much quicker than walking around the entire slums."
Cairo understands.
Good boy.
Time limit? He just sort of asks if there's a time limit to this, because he kind of wants to get it done and then get back and see if he can do anything else. So he's asking if when the exchange one is actually taking place, if he should be there for a specific time.
Oh, no, there's no specific time. Just knock on the door of... He pulls out this, like, ridiculously large city map that he has to, like, unfold 20 times. And he points at a building at the edge of the slums. And he says, "You just need to deliver it to this house here."
That's Old Man Corbin, isn't it? Or is Cairo thinking of someone else?
Nope, you got it exactly. Old Man Gorbin's been having some trouble with the Psychers, and he asked for a little assistance. I thought I'd send this over. He should find it pretty helpful.
Okay, Cairo will go. I need to thank.
You're forcing me to write new NPCs. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to make it so that Cairo knew where he was going, because he's done a delivery to
No, it's totally fine. I will never complain about you guys adding anything to my lore and my world unless it breaks something, because that's the whole point of RPing through it, is to build the lore itself.
Yep.
So
It's literally just an old dude that gave Cairo his poetry book. That's it. That's all. That's all.
I thought you
the lore
stole
there
the
is to this
poetry
man.
book. Hold on. I thought you stole it. You said you stole it earlier. If you're going to make up lore, at least get it right for your own self.
He stole one, and he has a smaller one that he keeps on his person.
Okay, that's the
from the
one.
old man.
That's the one that the old man. What'd you call him?
Gorbin.
Gorbin. That's what Old Man Gorbin gave you. Was the small poetry
Yeah.
book. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's sort of just attached to his hip. Nobody really notices it because it's barely even seeable against his clothes.
Well,
But
thanks
it's
to
that.
the cloak and boots I gave you, you're barely noticeable at all. Period. So.
Yeah, I'm sneaky.
Nice. And it's
But
more
yeah,
like
Cairo-
you've learned the art of moving through crowds without being noticed, like in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's.
That's
But
my job.
Cairo takes the package, tucks it under one arm, takes the coin, takes the coin pouch, shakes it slightly.
There is a
nods,
100
tucks
bronze
the-
in there.
tucks the coin pouch into his sort of waistband near the back, covers it with the cloak, takes one last look at the map, points to it, closes his eyes, memorizes the route he's going to take, and then just gives Diedrich a sort of mock salute that he's learned from Diedrich doing it to him. So he just sort of gives him a salute and then dashes out the tavern.
Diedrich, with his
Diedrich
arms
can't-
crossed across his chest, looks at you, takes one hand, gives you a short salute and a nod as you run out.
Yeah. And then, of course, Cairo then starts because he's only got one free arm at the moment, it's a bit slower than usual, but he's, again, flitting through the crowd.
Yep.
He's too quick for anybody to be able to really pay attention. He's like... At one point, he jumps up onto a building just to make sure he's in the right place, and he spots Shen in the distance.
Yeah, just running along the rooftops. Because it would have been a lot quicker
Gives
for
his
you to get
brother
there.
away.
Yeah. So you are going to have to go through the gate, and we'll deal. You'll get through the gate. Actually, let's see. Time-wise, I'm just plotting it in my head. No, you would have beat Rory and Edward into the merchant's quarters. So we're going to throw you to the other side of the map very quickly. And we will deal with
My
you.
boy is fast.
We'll deal with you later. Like, I am trying to keep this in a timeline. Since
I
Shen,
am fast.
since Shen left earlier, we are going to deal with Shen now, and we are going to this map. Believe it or not, I did do a lot of prep work this morning. So
Nice.
I told I've been working on the maps and stuff and writing everything since like 8 a.m. And we started at 3 p.m. So I have put a lot of work in today. So Shen, here you are.
You appear.
I would be on the roof.
Yes, I know. I'm just adjusting your size to make sense.
If entirely possible, Shen never touches the ground.
Okay, so let's say you'd come in from like the bottom over here, and as you can see, there are connections. It does make running along the roof easier.
Yeah.
So you come over here.
Yeah. If ever there is a spot where it's not easy to make a connection, he does have with a 5-foot run up, he can jump 18 feet.
1,
So-
2, 3. That works. This isn't even really a jump; it's more of a hop. And actually, no, you'd go up this way because you'd see this other dude on the roof, who's standing outside of the, or he's kind of on like Overwatch look of the building. That
And
acts
this is like the
headquarters.
their base.
Yeah. As you can
Cool.
see, that one building is way bigger than the other ones around. That is the headquarters. Again, scale isn't 100% to size. I just had to make the map fit. So really, these buildings are maybe like 1.5 times the sizes displayed on the map. Just to make
Good.
internal sense. So let us zoom down here to Shen. And you meet this dude on the roof. He has a crossbow on him, and he's currently reading a book while sitting on a chair on the roof.
I assume he's looking out this way.
Yeah, so he
towards the
occasionally glances over this way. He's also looking this way, and he doesn't have a good view of the south approach, but he's also occasionally peeking over the ways to the alley. But he's currently facing the big building in front of him. Yeah.
I think I kind of like settle down sitting on the roof just above him where I am now, and I just kind of watch him for a bit, just to try and see if he notices me.
And that's what I'm about to do if I could find my D20. Where the fuck did my D20 go? That's not a
Would
good
you like
dice
me to roll
use.
stealth?
Yeah, if you could roll stealth.
It's an important one.
If you could roll stealth.
That's the main dice.
I know, that's why I'm kind of mad I can't find it right now.
I
There
got
it
a
is.
23.
There we go. A 23?
Roll.
Yeah, he doesn't notice you. Like, he's completely oblivious to your, to you. You could probably sit there all day and he wouldn't notice.
Yeah, I think I have like a pocket full of like small pebbles that I've collected. And I just kind of very gently like flick one so that it lands like on his book.
Okay. So a pebble lands on his book, and he looks around to see where it might have come from because he's extremely surprised, and he's rolling with advantage. He still doesn't see you.
That's fine.
I
That's
think
fine.
I think at that point, Shen's just gonna kind of like scale down this wall here and just kind of walk in. He's just like,
Okay.
this guy's bad.
Yeah, he's not a really good lookout. However, there are an assortment. Like, the number of people on the ground isn't necessarily an accurate representation. I was just throwing people here. Let me move them around to where they... Oh, I can't move anything right now. Okay, I can click that. Oh, did I put these these people on the map? Whoops. So these guys are like the door guards.
Yeah.
So there we go. You would move over here, and that is when this one right here, who I accidentally just stretched up, notices you, throws up a hand, reaches behind them to pull out a knife. Then her brain clicks for a second and goes, "Oh, shit, Shen, it's just you."
The guy up on the roof, and I point to where the guy reading the book is very distracted reading his book. He didn't notice me at all. I was there for like 5 minutes. Can I go in?
Yeah, no problem. She looks over to the roof and says, his job is to add archer support if we're attacked, so I'm not too worried about it.
And then, yeah, he'll just head straight in.
Okay.
I assume he knows where he's going.
Yeah, you'd make your way through the maze-ish complex of the building until you kind of reach the office area. Not that there really are offices in this world. But you reach the office area where there is a beyond beautiful secretary sitting there. She's dressed extremely well for the slums. We're talking like almost noble level. But at the same time, it's a very simple dress. It's not like ostentatious, which is what keeps it from being like at a noble woman's level of dressing. And there is a leather, I don't know what it's called, but you know that leather thing that goes outside of a dress, not under, so it's not a corset.
No. It's a type of corset.
Yeah, it's a type of corset, like a leather corset that's on the outside of her dress. She looks up at you and bats her eyes at you and goes, "Shen, it's so good to see you again." This would be, for your reference, Rebecca.
That's weird. That's my mum's name in real life.
I am so sorry. We can change that name immediately
It's
if
okay.
you'd like to.
Nah, it's fine.
I came up with that
Shen,
on the fucking spot. We can change it if you
you're all
want to.
good. It's not a big deal. It was more just like that's a weird coincidence. Shen just smiles politely, and just says, "I have a job. Do I have to speak with you, or do I speak with someone else?"
1 second. I'm actually going to do this for a moment and just focus on what's above us. No, I can absolutely help you. She goes rummaging through her desk and pulls out a skin parchment scroll, opens it, and says, "I'm so sorry, I forgot. Do you know how to read?"
I think I do.
Yeah, if you do, you do. I'm not too concerned about languages in this setting, because it's basically going to stick to the city of Yokomayan.
Yeah.
And she goes, here, and she hands you the scroll, and it
Jen
is.
will
Oh yeah, go.
open it
No, go.
and just kind of real quick skim it. With his excellent ability to read, he's the best at reading.
Okay. Of course he is. I'm the best, the only one who can read. No. That was my really bad Trump impression.
I got it.
Okay, great. And it's a really simple description. There is a lesser gang that doesn't even qualify as a minor gang in the city, that has been inside the territory of Jamin, whatever I called them, that hasn't been paying their dues. And they've said they wouldn't pay their dues, so there's a fight expected. And unfortunately, everyone in the mercenary company is currently distracted on another assignment, so they can't even spare anybody to help you. However, this will pay you 5 silver, which is pretty big. And you'd be facing anywhere between 5 to 15 guys. If it came down to a fight.
Is it a situation where it's like a meeting and I have to talk with these guys to get them to do it? Or
No,
is it more
there's
of a...
an address, and this is the building that their gang occupies, and they're not paying their dues.
Okay.
And so you have to either go in there, steal the money that's owed, beat them up, or convince them to give you the money. Whatever, or whatever other options you can think of to get that money.
Okay. Cool.
And by the way, they owe a total of 1 gold.
Oh shit, that's a lot. Okay. Yeah, Shen's just gonna sigh, roll up the scroll, stuff it in a bag, and as he does so, he kind of pulls out the 2 daggers that he has and puts them into like, what the word?
You'd have sheaths.
Sheaths.
Yeah, you'd have sheaths on your
Yeah.
hip.
So he had just empty sheaths beforehand, but he's taken out the 2 things, pop them in.
Yeah, that or you
and
could
then
attach
kind
the
of-
sheaths, and they were just the daggers were in the sheaths in the bag. It's however you'd want
Yeah,
to do it.
something like that. But we'll just kind of nod to the woman and then walks out.
To Rebecca, your mom. No, I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
She goes by Bex, if that works. Unless your mom also goes by Bex, and then that's even really weird.
It's fine.
Is this your address?
Yeah,
No, I'm just like, I list out an address. Is this where you live? No. How fucking creepy would that be?
I would leave immediately.
It would be creepy, but it would be hilarious.
It's all for a bit. Quick, message me your address so I can do it. No. 1, 2, 3.
I have the entire social security number, your mother's maiden name,
Yeah.
the place you were born. Exactly.
And this is your
exact date.
social security number, right? No. I'm sorry.
So Shen will leave.
Okay.
This is you currently in your room with the camera I have in there, right?
Yeah, it just brings up the feed for everybody to see in the Discord. Oh God, I've made a horrible mistake. Okay, so I'm just gonna place you over here into the shadows because you leave.
And then he heads off to this place that he needs to go.
By the way, the place is over here, right on the edge of the slums that lead right into the desert. But we will handle you later. Unfortunately, I do not have a map of the mercantile district. so we'll have to do this on the city map. But as Cairo and as Shen go out and start performing their tasks for the day, you two walk through the open gates to the city. The guards don't even give you a second glance. Actually, no, wait. One of them does. They stare at you, Rory, for a moment before scoffing slightly and letting you through.
We'll rob him.
And I think, Rory, if you understand your gear, you may understand why he scoffed at you. Oh, Rory, are you there?
Moon, you're muted.
Currently.
Yes, if you don't
Rory,
remember,
you
you
are
are
real-
muted.
Moon, you're muted.
Okay.
Unless you're not here.
Well, in that case, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, see if Rory gets back by then. I'm going to pause the recording. Okay, the recording
I don't
is...
worry, I'm not going to just rob them.
The recording's back. We went over
Real
Shen's...
quick,
What's up?
would Shen be able to purchase some flasks of oil from these guys before he leaves?
Yes. I haven't given Shen any money yet, but let's just say that flasks of oil would be cheap enough that they just included as part of your compensation and you wouldn't have to buy them.
Cool. So I have 2 already. I'll bring it up to 5, so I have 5 flasks of oil.
Okay, so you
Each
get
one has 1 pint.
3 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Cool. That was the last thing I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, my apologies if I ever move past one of you, and you're still wanting to do something.
I thought of it afterwards.
Okay, just like
So,
call me
you're
call me out and call me an idiot and just say like, hey, I wasn't done. And I'll be like, oh, my bad. So we were moving on to Rory and Edward, just to make sure. Alistair and Moon, you are here, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you guys get through. You get to the gate that leads up into the mercantile district, and the guards don't even bother even paying attention to you, except for one. They look at you, Rory, scoff a little bit, and then just go back to whatever they're doing. And based off of your gear, you may know why. If you remember what I gave you there for your clothes.
Oh yeah, I know.
So they scoff at you. You guys enter the mercantile district. And I believe I said there's 100 bronze for the family as a pool of money.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say that maybe
Wait.
you... What?
I'm trying to process. Why the fuck did the motherfucker scoff at Rory again?
Okay, check your gear.
Mm-hmm.
If you go up to your gear, look at your... Where is it? 1 second. I'm trying to find your gear too. Look at your clothing. Look at what I gave you for clothes.
It's in DMs, right?
Yeah, it's right at the bottom of the gear list. It says slum clothes. And look at the description of the clothes.
My fucking Discord decided to become a piece of shit at the moment.
Oh, then I'll just describe it. It says slum clothes. Makes you look absurdly poor.
Oh, what the fuck?
So,
It's like, I hit you with poor beam.
yep, so he just scoffed at you because you look ridiculously poor, even for a slum dweller.
Ah, yes. I mean, he is a kobold. He doesn't really give a shit about his clothing that much.
Yeah, I know. That's why I gave him to you.
Anyway, so...
Kobolds aren't exactly known in fantasy worlds for their, clothes design companies, so...
But anyway, so he just continued. Okay, you go on ahead and continue.
Yep, so you guys go in and you enter the market area. Again, I don't necessarily have it printed out here, but any wide opening after the entrance from the gate is going to be like a market. So you guys are right here, and you're shopping in the market, and you have 100 bronze on you for food.
All right. All right. I need to I need to budget this so everyone would have equal amounts of food, and we still have a little bit for tomorrow, or maybe in the
I
future
think
as well.
if it helps, a thing you know about Shen is he always eats the bare minimum so that everyone else gets more.
Ah, okay. But
That's
you
why he
see,
that's why he
Rory
took the
thinks
moldy
about
bread.
family, so he accounts for everyone, even though they don't eat. This includes Corey as well. Wait, is it Corey
Rory.
or
No,
Cairo?
Cairo.
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 Cairo. I
You
mixed up
combine
the
both
Y
their
and
names.
O. So he still accounts Cairo and Shen because he's a family man. He thinks about family above all else. So even though you guys don't want to eat, he still accounts you for it.
Thanks to you phrasing it that way and the special trait I gave you, you can go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and roll with the. I believe I gave you a +5 advantage, or +5 to this roll because it's for family. And you can try
Mm-hmm.
and find the best deals in the market. And this would be probably under either investigation or charisma. And Alistair, if you'd like, you
Oh,
can also give the help action to gain advantage.
all right. So investigation roll,
Yeah, whichever one's higher, investigation and or charisma.
like charisma check,
Yeah,
or is it charisma check?
yeah, just
Okay,
the
where is
like
the roll?
so either charisma or investigation is good for you.
All right, I'm going for charisma roll, charisma check.
Okay.
I got a wait. What's my? Where is my notes? Characters. I have a +3 in charisma, so I rolled a 14
Plus a 5.
plus a 5, so that would make it a 19.
Okay. And since Alistair doesn't seem to be here, even though I specifically asked if he was here, so I'm assuming something's going on in his end, I will have him make you the help action as he attempts to find the best deals, so you can roll with advantage. Which means you get to roll again and take the higher
Another.
of the numbers.
I know. Don't worry. I know how it works.
Okay.
Holy shit!
Did you roll not 20?
26. It was an 18.
No, I
Oh,
rolled an 18.
26. Or you rolled an 18?
Yeah, I
18 on
rolled
the
an
dice
18.
for 26 total.
Okay, gotcha,
Mhm.
gotcha. So 26. Let me roll a D100. Where is my numbers?
I am back.
Welcome back, Alistair. I had you use the help action looking for good discounts on food.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay, so that would be 30. But because you rolled so well, you are getting this roll at advantage. 22. You are able to wheel and deal your way through the market, getting the best money for, you know, it's really weird. You're a kobold, right? Kobolds aren't usually allowed in civilized society for the most part. But here you are, with a silver tongue, doing what you can for your family, because you don't really go out and earn money. So one of the best ways you can contribute to the value of your family, like the monetary value, not any other type of value, just the monetary value of your family, is to get the best deals on shit. You have been doing this your entire life, basically. Well, adult life. And you basically make your 100 bronze go a million miles. And you get enough food to feed your family for, 1 second, let me do the math in my head. It would be for, if at the advantages you got, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. You get enough food as well as non-perishable goods for the most part for 5 days of food for only 22 bronze.
Oh my god. I guess.
Like
The kobolds
by
get
the way,
the
normally
best.
something like 5 days of food for a family your size would cost you closer to 100 bronze. You got
But
like
this one
a
is just 20 bucks.
75% discount.
Motherfucker just decided to pull out the Asian card and start bargaining for shit.
Yeah. Like, that cat looks real
as-
sickly, but has a lot of fat on it. I'll take it for 1 bronze.
Motherfucking Rory decided to pull out the Asian grandma card and just decided to like bargain his way into the market district.
Basically, yeah, that's what you did.
Oh,
Wow,
my.
dressed as about the poorest person in the entire slums.
Yes.
So yes,
This is
Alistair, what
this
did
is
you
a-
want to say?
I wanted to say, as my brother is swindling these fools, Edward is going. Okay, first he wants to see if there's any rich people, like people who seems to have more money than they know what with.
Given what district you're in,
Perception check?
roll perception check with advantage.
All right. I love an advantage.
And this is not necessarily
85%.
looking for rich people.
Sorry?
This is not necessarily looking for rich people that have more money than what they know what to do with. That's a lot of the people in this district that live here. What you're specifically looking for is for rich people who
Dirty
seem like they
20.
don't understand how to protect their purse.
Yeah, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, you find
Damn.
3 who, again, there's a lot of rich people around here. You find 3 who either don't have guards or don't look like they're even trying to protect their purse at the moment.
Yeah, he's gonna rob him. He's gonna
Actually,
try to.
I'm sorry.
Sleight of hand.
Given the time
Yeah.
of day, even with that dirty 20, I do have to reduce that to 2. I forgot what time of day it is. There aren't that many people
Okay,
out and
so-
about, so it would be 2.
Well,
So
We
that's
lost
still fine.
PJ. He's just been watching, so it's okay.
Okay, that is fine. Rob them.
Okay, you are going to try
Sleight
and
of
rob
hand?
them, so this is a sleight of hand check to try and steal their purse.
With advantage.
No.
I'll try. All right, that's fine.
And I won't allow Rory to give you the help action because they are busy swindling
Um,
everybody.
Wait. I'm gonna take a screenshot. I didn't get a nat 20, but shit. But I did get another dirty 20. Let's see if I took that screenshot fast enough.
screenshot it. We work on the trust system
I just. But I just want to make sure.
Okay.
This
First
is
off, let me on my end roll a
Yes, I did.
d20 to see how much money they had on them. Okay, that's good. So then I'm going to roll this with advantage because that was good enough. They had plenty of money on them. 54, and what's the other number? 2, so 54. You get 54 bronze pieces off of them.
All right. I'm gonna give that to
Rory, who clearly knows how money works.
I mean, I think he's the financial advisor of this fucking family.
Okay, so you're going to try against the other person now?
I'm gonna try it against the other person as well.
But as a reminder, Edward brought in 5 bronze.
Yeah, he is getting a lot more just being a thief than trying to. But he also doesn't like. Yeah. Nat 20.
Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. 1 second.
bro,
I-
beat in 20s.
18, and I will roll this with advantage. Okay, that's 17. Okay, because you got a nat 20. I will roll for how much money they have on them. 3 times. You will get the highest roll. Plus 50.
Fucking hell.
Okay, that's
Fucking hell is this game, man?
that's 40
Bro's about to.
for the first roll. 32 for the second roll. So we're at 40 plus 50 right now. 73.
Damn.
Got that
70
over 100 copper pieces.
Yeah,
in one go.
73 plus 20 is 123 copper pieces. So you find 1 actual silver piece and 23 bronze.
Oh my god.
Them to roll.
Damn.
For a total
Bro.
of 170 177 177 bronze pieces is what you find total just robbing people here today. And none of them are the wiser.
Bro.
Like you don't just replace you don't just like steal the purses. You somehow empty the money out at the same time put like pebbles in so they don't even feel a weight difference.
And I also do this in 2 seconds flat. Like
Yeah, you're just like zip zip. Oh, unfortunately, everybody else looks like they are very much guarding their purses and or have bodyguards who either are carrying the money or guarding the individual, which you can attempt to steal from these guys, but it will be at disadvantage. And there are 5 of them who look like that you can steal from. That would be worth the hit. However, again, all of these steals would be at disadvantage now.
Yeah, no, Edward doesn't push his luck that much. He's happy with the money he stole.
Yep.
But he will give all of this to Rory, all 177 pieces.
Okay. So that would be 2 silver, 77 bronze, minus 22 for 2 silver and 55 bronze is the total coffers of the family. Somebody track this for me, please.
No.
Yeah, so we got 2
Actually, no.
silvers and 55.
Rory, you have the money on you, so you're going to track it from right now. You after spending the money on food, you will have 1 silver and 55 bronze left.
This is going to turn into the "we need to make money" campaign.
A little bit,
That's
but believe me, it's going to go wildly different in the second session.
Probably, but
we just suddenly once upon a witch, like.
what's that? Our mum's gone missing. Fuck it.
Let me put it this
we'll make some
way:
more money.
the daggers that Shen has on him probably would go close to 1 gold, just for a reference of what your money will buy you.
I earned lots of money.
Question. So we had 100 coppers.
Yes, which equals
and
1
then
silver.
Which equals to 1 silver, but we spent how much?
22.
22. Therefore, we would have 72. Then how much did our good old Edward stole here?
177 bronze for, or also known as 1 silver and 77 copper.
That's the amount he stole, not all in all.
So add that to the 77 that we had.
So therefore we have 2 silvers and then fuck my memory. My math is not mathing today.
Mine is,
Okay.
and you have 2 silver and 55 bronze.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yep, 2
There we
silver,
go.
55 bronze. Or also known as 255 bronze. So how money works in my world is 100 bronze equals 1 silver. 100 silver equals 1 gold. 100 gold equals 1 platinum piece, and 100 platinum pieces equals 1 platinum dragon piece, which is the highest form of currency in my world. And although, yes, the different eras, and I understand this from a lore and DM perspective, the different eras would have different types of currency. I totally understand that. However, just for the simplicity of my world and for tracking things, any local currency will just be in my own head automatically reverted to the standard currency I have. So you could really have like 2,000, kroner or something, or whatever the fuck the imaginary thing is, but it's going to be converted into 2 silver and 55 bronze pieces left.
Okay. So motherfucking kobold that dressed up as a poor managed to fucking save so much money.
Not dressed up, has only poor people clothing.
Oh my god.
Like, there are beggars in the slums who are dressed better than you.
Oh my god. And yet he managed to swindle everyone. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Like I said, the amount of money you should have spent would have been around 1 silver. I would have had to do the actual calculations myself, but it would have been probably around 1 silver. If for the amount of food you just bought for 22 prods.
And then
Okay.
Edward came out with a profit. So technically, it was free because we made a profit.
Yeah, no, that is true. You gained money on your market
Oh,
trip.
that's funny. You gained
Anyway.
money on the market trip.
You could have easily
Okay,
also
going
been
back to
arrested
roleplay.
or attacked or, just, fucked over if you had rolled bad on those.
I have a question. Oh, a question for Moon. Does Rory know where the money came from, or does
Oh,
he
he
just think
knows.
Alistair?
Oh, he knows.
Oh,
he
he
knows.
Okay.
It's
All right,
not
just
really
wondering.
a secret what you guys... Actually, speaking of where the money came from, if Edward isn't spending his time at home for like weeks on end, where is he and what is he spending, or where is he living? Just, for you, Alistair.
For me, I guess wherever he finds place to sleep. He doesn't live anywhere.
Okay. So, that's fine. I was just wondering, like, are you spending it on prostitutes, which, by the way, are totally legal in this world?
No. He has better things to do with his money.
Yeah, lose it in the fight pits.
I wanted to say gamble on himself. He's a very cocky person, but there's two things he doesn't do. That's prostitution and alcohol.
Okay, that's totally fine. Yes,
Back to
you
roleplay.
can't do prostitution and alcohol in my Christian Minecraft server. Anything?
Okay, so as a role,
By the way, Shen and Cairo, if I make a joke, laugh even if it's not funny because I need it for the views. No. There you go. You got it.
The bro's desperate. Bro is desperate.
Oh no, I only post them on YouTube so that I could just have an easy link for everybody to click on. Technically, they're public videos, and if for any reason this channel blows up that I've created, I'd be surprised. So.
Oh gosh.
Honestly, I fully expect like 99% of any views in the future to come from new people to the channel, and that's it.
Lulz.
So, anyway,
Okay.
like I said, anything for the bit. No, so yeah, do you guys want to do anything else in the marketplace? There are many different types of, there are the food stalls you're visiting. There are many different types of shops here as well.
All right. When Rory would just before and everything else, Rory receives the stolen money. He's just like, okay, because he does that as well, but not as successful as Edward.
So,
And okay,
Edward, do you want to do anything else while in the marketplace?
No, he just helps Rory carry the food back to the house.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you guys are going back to the house. And here we're
There's
going to
the-
have a bit of a time skip because this city is fucking massive. And unfortunately, due to the time skippiness, the first person to reach their location is going to be Shen. So we're going to go back to Shen. As for
Shen's quick and also has a short distance to travel.
Yes, as for Cairo, you are going to be the last person to reach your destination. So I really apologize about the wait you have to go through.
It's fine.
So you guys, I'm just going to move your player icons back to the home location. You have not reached home yet. I'm not planning anything to happen on your travel there. If you want to do anything on your travel there, when we get back to you prior to getting home, you can let me know. Okay? Awesome. So, Shen.
All right.
We are going over here. It's not too far away from home, actually, surprisingly. And we are going to go and nice thing about making your own maps is you can utilize them for different purposes. For example, we are going to invert this. We are going to fog of war that and unfog of war that. Just for the purposes of easement. Even though I said it's at the edge and there are some... Here, let me fog of war these because technically this should be the edge of the thing, so... We're going to be operating in this small area. So, the building you're going to... Can you see all right? I have no idea what you guys can see, so I just want
I can see fine.
Okay, so
can see
if
fine.
you can see where I'm pinging, this is the building you're going to for the gang. They owe you a total of 1 gold. And you are getting a minimum, which I forgot to specify. The minimum you will be paid for this contract is 5 silver. The maximum you don't know about, but that's just the guaranteed minimum.
Okay. Was there any rule set down about what I can or can't do?
Nope.
Sick.
The
I have
scroll...
a greater knowledge of gangs that run the slums.
Yes,
one of the special traits.
the scroll literally just said, this is what they owe, get it by any means that you deem necessary.
Okay. What do I know about this up-and-coming gang?
Oh, let me do a quick...
I have from my background
Yep.
greater knowledge of the gangs that run the slums.
I wrote it this
I'm not
morning,
sure
I
if these-
remember. Give me next
I
session,
just-
I'll probably forget, but this time I remember, because I wrote it this morning.
No
So,
worries.
I would say that... yeah, I'm not going to make you roll. I just rolled for, like, you know, like, given, like, just rolled a d20 to be like, are they new? Are they, you know, well-known? That kind of thing. They are somewhat well-known. And they are basically the antithesis of the group that controls this area, which the group that controls this area, of course, has no problems with. There are always minor groups working in any area. It's just the minor groups that I outlined on Discord in the DM rundown are just like the big minor groups that kind of operate everywhere. But there's like tiny little 1 to 5 home like gangs everywhere in this city.
Yeah.
And something that you would know from your own history is that the gangs that are this small have to pay dues or parts of their earnings to the gang that controls the territory they live in. And this also applies to the other larger minor gangs as well. They do pay dues as well. With the exception of the Tavern Collective. They don't pay dues. But that's because they provide many other services that are considered more valuable than any of the money that they could provide.
Yeah.
This is all just knowledge for you to absorb. As for this specific gang, I would say that they are well known enough, but not known at all at the same time. In that, I mean, they are like a thief's gang. Their primary roles are kind of like stealth, stealing. They've kind of pulled off a couple major hits, which is why they owe so much money, because they've stolen some very valuable things lately. And they refuse to pay specifically on the hyper valuable things that they've stolen, the dues that they owe. But like I said, they're also not known. Like, they're not known to people who wouldn't otherwise know. Like, they're not known to the guards. They're not, known to other gangs. They're known to this gang and the area that you operated in.
Yeah. Is this their only, like, hideout area?
To your knowledge, yes.
So, first thing...
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me
going to
clarify. Also, to the knowledge of the Jaimin mercenary group, this is also their only known location, too.
Well, I'm going to trust their knowledge more than my own. I have a mask situation that I can like cover my face with. I have like a cloak as well, so I can cover my body. So I'm less identifiable. First question: what is the building made of?
It is the standard build. By the way, I'm putting a little name over them. That's just gang place. Just so that we don't forget which building it is. It's the standard kind of like stucco pseudo concrete build that the rest of the city or the slums specifically are made of. Stucco is a form of mud based concrete. If you don't know, this is actual knowledge for our own world.
Okay.
It's been used throughout thousands of years of human history to build constructions. It stands up to weather and stuff. Typically, it's also supported through other means, like you'll get wood pillars that would stand up, and then a kind of like weaved mesh that would then hold the stucco in place.
Okay. How flammable is it?
Stucco itself isn't flammable, but if you could, or it's not very flammable, but if you could ignite one of the wood pillars, then it would be flammable. However, that said, it's not real concrete and can still burn.
What's the roof like? Is it like thatch straw kind of situation?
It would be, so the roofs would also be made of stucco, just like your roof at home. But apparently you've carved a hole in that and have a trapdoor, which is totally fine. But for them, roofs are made of a thatch stucco, so they are a thatch mixed with stucco and then put in place. The thatching or straw provides a strength that's needed to actually support a totally empty space underneath it.
So I'm going to tell you my plan, and you can tell me how I think it is. If Shen thinks it's reasonable to do.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna basically drench the place in oil, set it alight. When everyone freaks out and runs away, I go in and steal stuff, and then I leave.
Okay. You will need more than just oil, because the oil will burn off before the stucco catches fire. You'd have to collect some like kind of like kindling and place it. I assume it would be on the roof, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the plan. Essentially, is
Yeah.
the roof,
Yeah.
and maybe like I kind of around the base of the wall, if I can, like around the wall. I just kind of set the whole thing alight so it looks like it's more on fire than it actually is. The illusion, so they freak out and run off, like to get help or whatever.
This
and then there's like one
is
guy still there.
personal knowledge. Same with the stucco stuff. That's personal knowledge. That's stuff I actually know. I would say your best option, as somebody who has lived in the city for a while now, and maybe seen a fire or two, these buildings aren't necessarily, say, as flammable as a wood building, but fire can still spread. What you really seem to want to do is be like, smoking bees out of a hive, basically.
Yeah.
So,
So,
from-
secondary to that is like as part of this to add to the freak out. I have one of my spells I have is fog cloud. So I was
Okay.
gonna put fog cloud in. It's a 20-foot radius kind of
Yeah,
sphere.
that's fine.
of just
This one
fog.
does actually have a distancing, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would cover the entire roof of the building if placed in the right spot. So, what I
Yeah,
would
so
do
I could like
if I were you, yeah, that's
20-foot.
yep. If I were you, and I will allow you to determine how much of this Shen might know. But based off of your plan, they might not even notice their roof is on fire until it's like collapsing on them. So
Yeah.
what I would do if I were Shen with the knowledge I have as me, the person,
Yeah.
is I would make a hole in the roof, like somewhere like it's pretty obvious where like storage areas are, and stuff. So I would make a hole in the storage area in the roof that's like only a couple inches square. Light the fire around that, which will produce the smoke, especially if you get wood, which will produce the smoke, and that will flow into the building because of the temperature difference. It will flow into the building, and that will let them know, even before they would have otherwise known, that the building was on fire, and would make them freak out more. Now, that said, I'm not sure exactly how well Shen would understand that as the player. I will leave that to your determination. Because you can just light the roof on fire and wait for it to start collapsing, which is when they'd notice, or you could do my method. But again, I don't know where Shen's knowledge on this would be.
I don't think Shen is as knowledge. I don't think Shen knows how cold smoke, that kind of thing works. I think he's more just thinking along the lines of if the building starts burning to the ground, because he's only got an 11 intelligence and a 10 wisdom. He's not very high in the mental space. He was more physically active.
Okay.
But it makes sense to him that if the building caught on fire, everyone's going to freak out and run away. So if he can make the building catch on fire,
you can definitely make the
out,
building catch on fire. That's not a problem.
Cool. Second part of this, how many people, if I spend like a while like watching, how many people do I see in the kind of space?
Give me a perception check, or you can do perception or investigation. I don't know. I guess that would be the closest thing. And actually, before you make a roll, I don't know if you just did. If you do, that we'll ignore it. Tell me how long you'd like to spend observing. Are you spending an hour, 5 hours?
I reckon like 2 or 3. He's just like sat on that building there and just watches.
Okay, then roll with advantage.
Yeah. Good. That was less good. 19 total.
19. You see a total of 7 people, and you think that there may be an additional 3 inside.
Okay. And then the building, are there like windows or something that he can see in, or is it just?
There are a couple of windows, but they seemed closed. So windows, this is general world knowledge that you would all know. You guys live in a desert. The day gets hot as fuck. The nights get really cold. So what happens is people always close their windows once the sun is up, and they open them once the sun is down. And the nice part about stucco is that it is actually very thermo-insulating, so it keeps the buildings cool through the hottest parts of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys would all know that as residents of this city.
I think after like getting an understanding of who's there, how many there are, Shen would check the roof of the building first. So he would like
make an athletics check for me. I will make you do that to successfully get over there. And you don't have to do stealth. You just have to do athletics. If you fail the athletics, you might be able to do a stealth, depending on how bad you fail.
22.
I heard 20. That was enough. So you're over here on the roof. Good job.
Yeah, I've got a +8 in stealth and athletics. You told me to do the things I'm really good at.
Yep. No, totally good.
Yeah, I want to check the roof. If I can, just listen. Like, I imagine it's not very sound insulating.
Yeah. I would like to take a quick pause for everybody's sake. We are 30 minutes over the scheduled end time now. We did start a little late, and we are hitting about the 2-hour recording mark. Are we all good to go for a total of 3 hours, ending us another hour into the future? I just want to check with everybody.
Sure.
No,
sure.
I am starting to get tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then before we
I
do
don't know.
this, I am going to call the first session. Unfortunately, we did start a little late, so we probably could have gotten, a little bit further. But we are going to call the first session here. Just for the consideration of everybody.
I am sorry, everybody, but I am
No, never feel sorry.
sorry.
We are scheduled for 2 hours. We went over that, and everybody was here at the beginning. I was having technical difficulties as DM, so I won't hold that against anybody. That was on me. So actually, if anybody should apologize, that's me. I'm sorry. So I just wanted to, we did get 2 hours of recording in, and I wanted to check in, and it looks like we can't continue. Don't feel bad about that.
Yeah,
So I will be calling the session here, and we'll pick up next week, if that's good for everybody.
Yep.
Yes, that's fine.
Awesome.
For me.
then
That's
I
fine.
thank you all for attending. I really hope you had fun. It's definitely not the way I thought this first session would go. Considering that it's clear that all of you are pretty experienced players, and definitely took
Yeah.
things in different routes than I thought it was going to go, and I love that. Um,
I'm
yeah.
burning down a
Yours.
building.
I know it might not
I
have been the
love-
most exciting session, especially considering I didn't technically
first
get to
session.
the ending that I was hoping to get to, which would have made at least a nice cliffhanger. But
Well, I
You
mean,
never get there.
Sh-
When-
Shen planning to set fire to a building is a pretty good cliffhanger.
believe me, it's nothing compared to the cliffhanger I had planned.
I can just imagine Shen crouched next to a wall, rubbing his hands maliciously and just going,
Well,
ha.
well, I only actually
Okay.
give me a second. I'm gonna